And the last one is playfulness. And that card just reminds us to have time to enjoy yourself, to do things you love to do, because part of being in a high vibration state is enjoying laughter, is enjoying people you love, is getting out in nature. So the vibration can increase when you focus your intention on raising it for you and for people around you.
My guest for this next conversation is Rosemary DeTrolio of Hands of Light by Rosemary. Her mission is to teach people how to harness their inner gifts, safely connect with the divine realm, and guide people to make positive life shifts with workshops, sessions, angel readings, and educational speaking engagements. She specializes in Reiki training and sessions, angel communication, workshops, and intuitive development. She is a Reiki master teacher with 26 years of experience and a member of many professional organizations. I'd like to welcome Rosemary to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. Come along with us as we dive into the fascinating world of sound, exploring its many dimensions, blending the best of both worlds to uncover the secrets of sound, voice, and vibration. Hello, everyone. I am so honored to welcome Rosemary DeTrolio of Hands of Light by Rosemary to this conversation today. Hello.
Hey, Ruth.
And welcome. Rosemary is actually a neighbor of mine, 4 houses down from where I live.
Uh-huh.
I've known her 20 years almost
At
now.
least, yeah.
15. Yeah, it's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, ever since I've lived here. And she has been a wonderful friend as well as somebody that I have done a lot of collaborations with, and she has been one of the biggest supporters of my work. And I so appreciate you
And
and
I
your
I
work.
love what you do, and I'm excited that we're doing this today because you do wonderful work as well, and I love working with you. So it's all fun. It's all good.
Yes, it is. And it's all very similar. I'm going to have you
hmm
talk a little bit about what you do next, but
hmm
all very similar to, as we say, everything's vibration. So,
hmm
right, working with sound, working with energy. And
Absolutely.
Rosemary is predominantly an energy worker. So, Rosemary, would you just
hmm
let us know what you
Certainly.
do and how you work?
Certainly. So I come off of a very extensive career in education. So I did that for 32 years, but I was always very good reading energy of people and children and parents. So I started my business back in 2000 and I started learning Reiki. I guess 1996, I learned Reiki, which is energy work. So not only do I do sessions for people, but I do long distance Reiki, I teach Reiki. I also work with the angel realm, and I've been a channeler since 1993, and I'm able to tap into the divine source of light and get messages for people from their angels, their guides, and even read their Akashic records and past life. So that's been a beautiful journey. And because I was a teacher, I love to educate people on growing their internal gifts, working with intuition, working with all this stuff that they have bubbling underneath from childhood. They don't know what's there. So those are some of my passions. And I also write. So I'm an author of 10 published books right now.
And her
Yeah.
books are wonderful too. It's funny because I love reading kids' books. I just
I
do.
do. I love
You
writing
know,
kids' books.
even now, yeah, even now, I love the fantasy. I've always loved fantasy realms,
Yes.
stories about that. And her books are so engaging. I've read every one of them. I love them.
Thank
It's
you.
funny because I love seeing your progression, your development as a writer through the years that I've been reading your books, and
hmm
it's really wonderful. You're a wonderful storyteller, Rosemary.
Oh, wonderful. I enjoy it so much, and all these thoughts are in my brain, so it's fun to get them down and share them. But thank
Hey,
you.
yeah, do you channel the while you're writing?
I don't know. I know that when I was writing Time Wheel, the story just kind of dropped in. And I don't know if it was channeled, but I know that there was messages they wanted me to infuse in the book, but in kind of a way that that was kind of like going in the back door and figuring out, like letting kids know about uh, how you can transform yourself and how good deeds matter and things like that. So I believe probably it was. I know I was guided. I had a lot of strange things happen while I was writing that book. When I was writing, there was two characters in there that were Tibetan, and I had the name Tenzin and Yeshi in the original book. And I was working at the park one summer, and people booked in a campsite, and the names was Tenzin and Yeshi. And that couldn't have happened in a million years. And I kept a copy of the paper. I'm like, no one would ever believe this weird coincidence. Other things, I was at an event, and in my story, there's a magical time prayer wheel. And as I go into the event, the first man that I see at the table, the vendor, was a Tibetan man, and he had a prayer wheel on the table with a saying on the front of it that I wrote in my book. So it was just another strange thing. So I bought the prayer wheel because no one would believe that either. I bought it, and it actually opened just like the one I wrote in the book, and it has a prayer inside of it. And I wrote that before I knew that they really had prayers inside of them. So I thought it was a fun coincidence and story for my book too.
That's a jaw dropper, seriously.
Yeah,
There are no coincidences. It's
no,
serendipity. We are being
we're
guided
being
and
guided.
spoken to every step of the way. They know all the intimate details of
Yes,
our life and what we
yes, yes.
think, what we believe, our pain, our
Hmm.
desires, right? Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
And
always
it's
guided.
just so beautiful it's so beautiful when you start, I think when you start giving that credence,
Hmm.
when you start breaking
Absolutely.
down the layers of disbelief
Yes.
and
And
you
just
start
go
to,
for it.
then you start notice even more and more and more, right? Oh,
Yes, yes,
oh,
yes. The
beautiful.
openness really, really helps. And it's really strange because as I was working on my next book, the same thing started happening. Like I pulled in and there was a car with a license plate Ram, and that's one of the main characters in my book. And then I had another one, another strange coincidence during the book where, something in the book showed up, on a sign or, just strange, unusual things that showed me, yeah, that's the next one that has to come out. This one's almost ready. And it was just kind of like a nod from the angel saying, "Come on now, let's get this one out there." So I'm working
Encouragement.
on that one now. Yes.
Yeah, because it's a lot, it takes a lot of effort to write. I know I wrote my
Hmm.
small little book several years ago, and it's only 50 pages, but holy mackerel, it was
Yeah, it's a
like
lot of
pulling
work.
teeth for me.
Yeah, and there's always that curve of like stuff you don't know and stuff you do know. So, I don't know how to format or anything like that. So I, hired someone to do the nuts and bolts that I don't know how to do. And then, you always go through editing. There's always something that you miss, that I miss, when I'm writing. So it's great to have eyes on it to help.
Oh,
You
heck yes. Gotta have more
know?
than one set of eyes. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So just to let the listeners know, I asked Rosemary if it so resonates with her a little later on in the video. You want to hang around for her to
Mm-hmm.
do a short angel channeling for the
Mm-hmm.
group. I think
Mm-hmm.
that'd be wonderful. And I was thinking too, when you, as a teacher, you taught elementary school,
I
right?
did. I
For
taught
many
mostly
years.
primary. Yeah, 32 years in
Wow.
education.
And as a child growing up yourself, were you supported by your mom, your dad, with your abilities, your gifts? Uh,
Nobody knew. Nobody
I was
knew.
wondering, and was your mom, do you know, is anybody else in your family
My grandmother
psychic or?
probably. My grandmother probably. My
Okay.
grandmother saw in her dream what my grandfather would look like, and he actually was with somebody that died when he was in World War One. She died in New Jersey, so he wound up with almost like a fix-up wife, which was my grandmother Mary, and she dreamt of him before they met, so she knew he was coming her way. So that's, and she always kind of knew, like where to touch you if your back was sore and things like that. But other than that, I don't know. My father was very intuitive. He'd be able to read people just by energy. My mother, very intelligent, but very didn't really, he had to prove it to her before she believed anything. She was more of an eagle, like, unless you show me, I don't believe it. So they were very different, but they never knew, like nobody ever really knew any of the stuff that I knew or could do till I was an adult. I just didn't talk about it. It wasn't something I did, you know?
Even though, right, so your parents didn't, or your dad particularly, didn't really ask you
No,
about seeing things, seeing spirit, or
no,
getting
no.
impressions. So
No, nothing.
interesting.
And I didn't see spirit as a child, but I always was really connected with faith and prayer. And my father always said, when I pray, he knows things are going to happen. Like, so he knew that I had a lot of faith, and he did as well. But other than that, no one really knew, and I didn't really start channeling till I was an adult. So some of that didn't show. But again, my friends kind of knew I had an ability. I just knew things about them, and they would go to me automatically if they needed advice or help. And that was
Mm.
just something that's always been a pattern.
So interesting to me how this seems to be very genetic, in
Yeah, I don't
families.
know.
And you
Yes.
wonder what is it that's being passed along? Because I've seen this so many times. I've a lot of
Hmm.
friends who are psychic, who have those abilities, and they all will say it's their mom, their grandmom, and it's a lot of time it is the female, the divine feminine
Female.
lineage, very
Yes. Yes.
interestingly. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of interested in what exactly is being passed on because one of the things
Mhm.
that you always say, Rosemary teaches a lot of really wonderful classes in intuition and guidance, and she always says, right, that we all have this ability.
We all do.
Some of
Yeah.
us to varying degrees, of course,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
I'm wondering what is getting passed along is it in the DNA? Is it out in the field? What do you think about
Yeah.
that? How is
I'm
that
not
getting passed
sure.
on?
I would love to trace back my family lineage and see, what's way back. I don't
Right.
know. I know for me, I know my father was intuitive and I'm intuitive. My grandmother was, so I don't know if that's where it came from. I do know that I made a choice to develop the gift based on my blueprint or my life path, and I was given a choice to go forward with what I'm doing or to be scared off my path. Like we all have these tests that come. And I think the thing is when you find something that calls to your heart and you push through the fear, then that thing that's in there that you're supposed to do will increase and manifest. And I believe that's what happened for me as well. I always had, intuition. I always trusted my gut, but I trusted it more as time went and I realized how accurate it was. And, I'd kind of get hit upside the head if I didn't follow it. So you kind of learn from the bad and the good. It's like, oh, I should have listened to myself. You know?
Right, right.
Yeah,
Because there
yeah.
is, yes, yes, more I'm living, the more I'm realizing I think there is a divine blueprint that we
Oh,
are
yes.
being guided to follow. And of course, there's free will,
Yes, that's important. Yeah.
but they're always, I think, trying to
Choice.
go, right, push you in that direction. And I think we probably agree to this, or we make our own blueprint up before we come here uh,
Hmm.
in the body. So it's very fascinating. As a teacher, I was going to say before, did you notice that there were kids in your class that had
Absolutely.
these
Yeah.
abilities? I can imagine. Yeah.
Sometimes a child would have an energy field around them that I could see, like purple. And that was very common with some of the kids that were Hindi. So they develop a very early religious or spiritual aura around them that I was able to
Oh,
see a couple of
yeah.
my children that I taught. Another one I taught in first grade, and she drew a picture of me on the first day of school with a whole energy field around me, colored in. And at the time, I had a photograph taken at an event, and the two things matched to the expect that there was an angel behind me and rainbows shooting out of my hands after I had learned how to do energy healing. And she had seen it, and she always said, "Oh, you have such pretty colors." And this was a 6-year-old who now is probably in her 30s, probably 38 years old, and she still is incredibly intuitive. And I ran into her recently and she remembered me and we talked about it. And I reminded her that story about her drawing this picture of me. And she goes, "Oh, yeah." She goes, I learned through life, really follow my gut, really follow my intuition.
How
So it was really interesting to
beautiful.
come across her again.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very. Do
Yeah.
you think that there are more children? I'm noticing that seems like, and I'm reading, hearing that there
Yeah.
are a lot more children coming in now with a lot higher
Yes.
ability,
Higher abilities.
intuitive abilities.
Yes, I'm seeing that probably within the past 15 years. Also, you'll notice there's a lot more autistic kids on the spectrum.
Yes.
Those kids came in at such a high frequency that when they dropped in, they can't jive up. the heavy earth energies with their own. So sometimes those kids have very high spiritual gifts, but you can't see them right away. Those kids might keyboard something or say something really profound. I've done readings for a couple kids that were autistic, and as adults, they're quite gifted in understanding the spiritual realm. But as children, they were like bound in this heavy body, and they're trying to like navigate and kind of ground themselves to it. So I've seen that as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was wondering. We have two special needs grandchildren, and both very interesting. I can tell the
Mm,
young man is who's 19 now. I think he's going to be 20 soon.
hmm
He definitely is sensitive. I can feel it
hmm
for
hmm
sure. But you would, but very low functioning in other areas. But
Yeah.
there's a sensitivity to him that is
hmm
far beyond his years.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's tough for
interesting.
them.
Yes, very tough. Um,
hmm
I wanted to share a story about you and about how, our early time together when I met you. I didn't realize that there was, somebody down the road from me that did this until I had the need, I guess, for it. And
Yeah.
Spirit maybe led me to you. But my husband and I were going through a very difficult time in our life. We were building, actually, we were renovating the oldest schoolhouse in our county, and came up with a lot of resistance from the area, the neighbors. Got the DEP, health department involved. It was just terrible, and it was an awful thing. We wound up suing. It was just a big mess. Anyway, it was like 5 years. 5 years, $50,000 later in credit card debt. I was at my wit's end. And
hmm
I really was, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do because my husband he's very, he is a very, what's the word, moral man.
hmm
And he has a lot of, he really, he wants to do good. He sees the good in people. But he has a lot of fight energy, when something is wrong, there's a wrong being done. He wants to right it.
hmm
Anyway, so what kept him going, but it was to our detriment at that point. And
hmm
I didn't know what to do. And I said, honey, why don't you go see? I said, there's an angel lady going down the road here. I call her the angel lady. And amazingly, he went. And during that reading, I think you said two archangels came through and
hmm
told him that if he didn't stop this, it's repeating. It was a lesson he was learning from trying to learn from another lifetime, and that if he didn't
hmm
stop, he was going to lose me and lose his life. Going to have a
hmm
heart attack or something. And he came back from that reading and he stood in front of me and he said, I'm going to drop the lawsuit, and you could have knocked me over with a feather because it was.
Yeah.
And when I say Rosemary saved my marriage, I'm serious. That's literally,
Wow.
yeah, because that was
Remember.
so, yeah, you remember that, right? It was so impacting for
hmm
him,
hmm
tremendously impacting. And Rosemary and I also recently, this past year, have collaborated with the sound therapy. We do a beautiful event where she does Reiki and I will do sound therapy. We have people laying in
hmm
anti-gravity chairs, and it's been amazing for people. I think that the combination, talking about the
Absolutely.
vibration, right, of the
hmm
Reiki and the sound. And if you want to
Yes.
speak into that a little bit about the
Yes. I
profundity,
can.
that is the word, right? Of
Yes.
these two modalities, the combination.
Yes. I think the sound is really incredible because they're hearing that as their body is reaching this relaxed state. So when I'm doing Reiki on them, it's allowing them to be in such a state of relaxation that their body will shift very quickly. And we've seen these shifts and these movements, and people are seeing things, and they're having these great experiences seeing, one woman tell me she saw the Virgin Mother when I touched her.
That's right.
And another person said that they felt like their chest opened and they saw pink light, and pink is the color of love. And
Mm.
my hands were sending her pink light to her heart center. So she was actually experiencing it. And the sound just really is just a beautiful experience to be in that setting with the sound as well. And I know years ago, before you started working with sound therapy, the angels told me to tell you, in your reading, that your path was to work with sound healing and to shift people with this modality. So it's very cool that it's come full circle and we're actually working as a team now to do this. So that's
Amazing. Yeah.
amazing.
And I wasn't even, I mean, I'm a singer, right? So I was always working with sound of vibration, my own sound of vibration, and also a voice teacher, but not to the level that I'm doing now. So very, very
Hmm.
fascinating, how you were hearing that earlier on. Yeah, I
Yeah.
often wonder, like, as far as from a frequency standpoint, you being so sensitive to that,
Hmm.
we are working together, and literally they talk about sound now. Sound,
Hmm.
they say sound travels in waves, but they
Yes.
actually found out that it comes out in a big holographic bubble, and
Oh,
the
yes.
waveform is in the middle or something like
Absolutely.
that.
Yes.
I'm probably not explaining it
Torsen
100%.
field, right? Is that the Torsen field? Yeah.
It can be a torus field, yes.
Yes.
That's like the electromagnetic fields of our heart and our
Yes.
brain, right? But it comes out in this beautiful big bubble. And so it's literally surrounding you, me, and our
Hmm.
clients. As far as you're concerned, do you think, because that sound it raises your
Hmm.
vibration, do you think that
Absolutely.
makes your Reiki abilities, heightens it somehow?
I just think because I work a lot with clearing myself, it's just a way that also allows this energy to infuse. So I
Okay.
don't know,
Mm.
it doesn't feel different to me when I'm doing it in my office or there. But
Yeah,
what's cool about it is I'm also getting this gift of hearing you sing and the sound around me. So to me, it's like a special gift on top of helping other people. I'm getting this little bonus from you
right.
because I'm in this ocean of sound, just like the other people that we're working on.
Yes,
So
so
it's
it
really
helps.
fun.
Maybe
Yes,
it
I
supports
think
you
it
while you're doing
does.
the work.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
So cool.
It's very nice. And I love, when I'm hearing you, I get visions of who you're channeling that you're not realizing you're channeling. They're coming in and I'm seeing your guides come in as you're singing at the end. And that's really cool because I know that what I'm experiencing is what you are actually singing. And I can see your guides. It's very neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting thing. I must have agreed to have stopped my certain abilities in this lifetime because I
Mm-hmm.
rely on other people. I don't rely, but they will tell me, like,
Mm-hmm.
that are psychic, like yourself, that they will say, "Oh, I saw this, that, and the other thing, and this guide and that person and that spirit while you were playing or
Mm-hmm.
singing," and I haven't a clue. So it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Yeah, I think you said something. There was some Hawaiian
There's a Hawaiian. You've got a
guy.
Polynesian guide. You have a Native American one that came in last time, a shaman or a woman that was singing. I
Mm,
saw her with a basket. The other thing I'm thinking of is because your sound is so heightened and your clairaudience is so heightened, that's the thing that they've developed a lot in you. So the third eye, which is the seeing, may not be something you chose to open in this lifetime because it would distract you from the sound. So it could be that's why you're not seeing it, and it's just really going on trust and faith that you are bringing this energy out.
very good. Very
Yeah,
good. And I think that's what I need too is the faith,
yeah,
Rosemary, because I
yeah,
still have that, like many
yeah.
of us who are in doing this work or doing any work for that matter, or just being a
Hmm.
human being on the planet, we all have that self-doubt.
Yeah,
Of the imposter syndrome, who am
yes,
I to do
yeah,
this? Can I really help people with this?
yes, yes.
And I think that's what it is. I'm trying to learn how to trust my own
Hmm.
abilities, trust the divine that's moving through
Hmm.
me, moves through all of us
Yes. And I think
without
once you
questioning.
do, I think that's the block. And I think once you trust it, then more things will open. Because what happened to me when I was channeling years ago, when I was very, very new at it, and I didn't do it for anyone else, just me, I would check all the information, which is probably a good thing to do because, you don't just want to follow blindly, right? So my angels would send me a word like in Sanskrit or ancient Greek that I don't speak. And I'd stop the reading and I'd look it up and I'd realize it was a real word. Or they'd give me something like the word nadis, which I've never heard of before. And I looked it up, and it's actually a yoga term for the knot. on the, or like a blockage in one of the chakras. I didn't know that. So like I realized that what they're doing is I'm really getting information, real information. And then when I was all done, they'd go, "Are you done wasting our time? Let's get back to our work." And I knew they had to do it for me because again, they knew that I would question. So way back in 93, I've learned that what they're telling me is real. And I've done so many readings for people, and it's been proven through their experience and through things about them that I know it was authentic. Like, the person that was afraid of lions, that was a sacrifice, in Roman times. And then she wouldn't go to the zoo because she was terrified of lions. So after my reading with her, she realized that this was an old fear from Roman days, had nothing to do with now. So that those kind of things prove to me that the information that comes in is really from them. And so I don't question anymore. I just know to go with it and just have faith that whatever it is, and the person will get it.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you can corroborate
Yes.
your readings and your
Yes. Yes.
intuition, your intuitive
Yeah.
findings. Yeah, that
Yeah.
whole thing about past lives, that's incredible to me.
Hmm.
It's so not what in our
In our
learning,
culture.
in our
Yes.
culture, and um, but so many times, like people will have like scars, right? They'll
Yes.
have like scars on their body somewhere or a mark, and then they find out later through a reading that they got speared or something, in another lifetime, and it just makes
Oh,
sense. And
I have a cool story about that. One of my clients came to me, and I didn't realize this, but when I did the reading for her, I found out that she had done the sun dance, which is the Native American thing as a male, and they grab your skin, and you're in the sun for hours, and then
ooh,
your skin rips. And there was like a sign on her. It was a circle, and it had a cross through it, like a Native American sign, right? I didn't know this when I channeled for her. After I had told her, you were a Native American, you had done the sun dance, you were marked with the sign of your people, and I drew it on paper and I showed it to her. She opened up her shirt and she was born with a scar. It was a circle with a square in it, and it was right on her chest.
that's
Um,
amazing.
I didn't know that before
And
I
you
did.
didn't know it.
No, and that was what that another like for me, that's like, a heads up, like, look, we're really telling you this stuff. Other strange things, I had a woman that she came to me with like long sleeves on and pants, and I was doing Reiki on her, and I'm seeing a crossbow, I'm seeing a leather outfit, I'm seeing her as male, and then I'm seeing roses go up an arbor, right? So I asked her after, I said, listen, I'm getting all these visions of you. What's up with this? Well, her hobby was crossbow. She loved dressing with a leather vest when she did her crossbow stuff. She pulled up her arms and there was tattoos of roses all the way up both of her arms. And I'm like, I can't make that up.
No,
It
you
just
can't
came
make
in
this
my
shit up.
brain. You can't. It came in my brain, and I was confident enough to share it, even though it sounded bizarre to me. But she was saying, "Oh yeah, I love the crossbow. That's one of my hobbies. I love medieval festivals." And she's going on and on. But it was exactly what I was seeing. So in this lifetime, she was walking through what she loved from a past, from the past lifetime that she had here.
Yeah.
I thought that was really neat. Yeah, I know, right?
You've gotten so much proof. I
Yeah.
mean, so much over the
Yes.
years. My God,
I
there's this,
didn't get it when I needed it though, Ruth. In the very beginning, it
yeah.
was like, just keep going and the proof will come after you don't need it. And that's the part that's frustrating because when you really need it, you're not getting it. It's after you finally say, okay, I get it. So many coincidences. This must be real. Then I started getting proof. Like when I don't need it anymore.
I think you have to surrender.
Yes.
We I just did um, another interview with somebody, and we were talking about Wayne Dyer's quote, "You'll see it when you believe it."
That's
Not,
absolutely true.
not the other way
Not
around.
the other way around. It's you have to surrender to faith.
You're surrendering, and
Yeah.
there's always that. I guess it's the ego, that
Hmm.
always wants us is kind of protecting itself, maybe because
Yes.
if we surrender, what are we surrendering? We're surrendering
Your
our
will.
idea of
Yeah.
ourselves
Yeah,
and this
absolutely.
life, what we're doing here.
Yes. Yes.
And that
Yeah,
has to, they talk about the death of the ego. And that's,
absolutely. The
I love
shaman's
my,
death.
The shaman's death. Yes, I
Shaman's
love
death.
my ego, but it doesn't define me.
No.
I don't. The ego needs to learn what it is, or what it is it really? And I think it's an overlay when we come here in this
Yeah.
body, right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
What they told me is that each experience, you choose a personality, therefore your ego, right? You have a different body that your soul is poured into, and you have your blueprint, which helps you navigate through life. Then if I go and I come back again, I might choose a different body and a different personality because with each personality, you experience what that person's perception is. So your perception will change with the body, the person that you choose. And the idea is to meld the personality, your ego, with spiritual understanding. And when these two things are in sync with each other, you're able to more clearly not let the ego define you. It's more like this is my choice to surrender, to learn and perceive from a different point of view. And it's usually a higher vibration point of view than my daily concerns of, oh, is my hair nice? What does my face look like today? And it moves us away from over concern with us and more concern with opening to this light that we can share. So it's a little different perception.
Yeah.
Although it's nice when her hair looks nice.
Yeah, Rosemary and I were just talking about a sale at Macy's
Oh,
before we
definitely.
recorded.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I mean, because, yeah, I'm a girly girl and I love to shop and I love to play around with my hair and makeup and all that stuff. And isn't there a certain, I mean, what are we here on earth for? We're here on earth to be, completely spiritual and,
No,
completely
no.
simple and aesthetic I mean, I think that brings me
It's good
joy,
for some people, but
right? It's
there's
fun.
it's joyful. It's joyful to
Yeah.
appreciate who you are. It's joyful to, look your best if it makes you feel good and you're able to go out in the world feeling like, like a power goddess, right? So that's perfectly fine. I think right now we're seeing in the culture the younger people are so obsessed with perfection of what they look like that that's the thing that interferes. Like they're pumping their lips and they're 20 years old, they're doing this, they're doing that when they're perfectly beautiful the way they are. And they don't need to believe that they're not how they should be. And I think that's the danger. I think when someone's overly obsessed with that, it interferes. And nothing wrong with looking good, right? But I think the culture is teaching these young people that they're not good enough unless they have a certain amount of views, unless their hair's a certain way and their lips look a certain way, or their boobs are gigantic. It's just they're getting the wrong message about who they are. So I think that's really important to develop who you are, and your inner self and your authentic self, along with, going out in the world and being you.
Totally, couldn't agree more about that. I'm always amazed when I see the social media ads for
Hmm.
wrinkles, and these girls are, like you
I
say, they're in their
know.
20s, or
I
they're
know.
terrified of turning 30.
Age. Yeah, I
Turning
know.
30 to 30, you're God, you're so
You're a baby at 30.
but
I wish I was
I mean,
30.
you're beautiful at any age, really. And
Yes,
wrinkles,
yes.
yeah, it's not an empowering message. And I do
Right.
believe that the social media, unfortunately, or
Mhm.
our desire to be loved and
Yes,
liked is really it's being hijacked by social media because
I agree.
yeah, because people are looking so much outside of themselves for that
Yes,
affirmation and
perfection.
that yeah,
Yeah,
right, and thinking,
yeah.
especially if you're young and you haven't had enough time in your life
Yeah.
to really get a sense of yourself,
Yes.
you're giving into
Yeah.
that insecurity,
Hmm.
of not looking like everybody else looks, and
Yes, that's right.
not being liked like everybody else, and this one has more likes than me, and
I know it's kind of dangerous because these young
yeah, it
people are
is
getting a message that
very.
they are lacking in some way when instead they should be getting the message, grow who you are inside and harness your gifts and love who you are as a person and begin to deepen that. And once you do, it's like I don't have to ask 99 different people what I should do with my life because my core of who I am is developed. And I think that's the thing these young people are kind of missing, that development of who you are and just even being able to navigate problems in your life. I think, if you coddle people too much and they never go through a difficulty, they don't know how to fare as an adult. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of these overparented young adults. They've been mollycoddled, as they say, and they don't know how to make a decision or how to stand their ground. They just cave, and
Yeah,
that's really sad.
yeah, helicopter parenting. Yeah, I see it a lot in people.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I think that developed after 9/11.
I don't
That
know. Yeah, it
I
could
almost
have.
seem like the people that were children in that time
Yes, yes.
period who
It
grew
could
up and
be.
had kids. I think there was a lot of fear, and I think it
Yeah,
developed. That just
it
seemed
could
like
it
that
could be.
developed
Yeah,
more. Yeah, because I mean, my
right.
God, the stuff that we used to do when we were kids.
Oh, I know.
Be like our parents would have been called up on child abuse charges
Oh yeah, yeah. I was
now.
saying, we were out in the morning at sunup and we'd come home for dinner and we'd be out all
Gone.
day and we'd be at the lake or at the beach. We'd be setting barbecue fires and cooking food. It's like any of the stuff you can't do now. And I think, I always say that we were probably the last free generation. We had more freedoms. It was a little safer in the world, maybe. But we also trusted, we trusted ourselves to make decisions. Our parents never involved themselves in spats between a friend. That was not done. So go figure it out. Go talk to your friend. Figure it out. And they wouldn't be bothered stepping in and trying to call the parent and say, "Oh, your daughter called my daughter a ninny." That never happened. That never happened when we were kids. Your
Yep,
parents would just know that, take care of it. It's your friendship. You know, you do
absolutely.
you.
You do you. Yeah, I remember with my little
Yeah,
brother had he was pretty small. He didn't get big until he got older.
yeah.
And he had asthma, and we'd
Oh,
walk to school together on across the very busy overpass
yes.
highway. But there was this guy, a bully named Jay Conroy. I'm going to say your name, Jay, because I forgive you. I do forgive you. But he used to beat up on my little brother, and
Oh
one time I
no.
remember he had him. This guy was huge, and he had my brother underneath him, beating on him. And my
Oh
brother's can't
gosh.
beat. I
Well,
jumped on that guy's back and I started beating the crap out of him.
good, good.
I did. I was like, can you imagine today? I don't know. It's just, but
Yeah,
my mother, I don't even think we even told my parents that.
yeah.
I just took care of it.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. It's a whole different world now. That's all I can say. And I understand, people are growing up with different values and ways they do things. So,
Yes.
there is a change and we're seeing it.
And, I think these people, I think the life experience will help to
Hmm.
kind of, smooth that out a little bit and maybe give them some awareness as they get
Yes,
older.
I
But
I
it's
believe.
interesting to me how the vibration, generally, the
Hmm.
frequency of our abilities and the world and the earth and humanity is
Hmm.
raising at the same time. There's all this
There's distress.
underlying,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like this dichotomy of the light and the dark, I guess the duality,
They
right?
tell you, yeah, the angels, I channeled it from the angels probably a good 15 years ago. They said there's going to be an overhaul and a pull between light and darkness. They also told me about a worldwide situation that we would all walk through, and the light workers would have to keep people positive because it would be something that would affect the world. And I couldn't imagine what it was, but when COVID happened, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. People would die, but other people that would be on a path would sustain and be okay. So I don't know, but yeah, power of light and darkness. And I think we're seeing a lot. It plays out in the news and it plays out what you listen to. And, so we say turn off the negative and just focus on where you are right now in the world and do your best to work to bring light to that because that will eventually uh I guess spread to other people. So
Beautiful,
let's hope that
beautiful.
that's the thing that happens.
Hope and pray, yes, yes, and
Yeah, yeah,
set
yeah,
our
yeah.
intention for that. Yes, I
Yeah,
think
set your
that's very
intention.
powerful. When two or more are gathered in
But
His
yes,
name.
and prayer.
Yes, yes,
Hmm. Yeah.
the power of prayer, the power of our intention
Yes.
is huge.
I
So
agree.
I think that's a beautiful segue into a channeling. If you would like to share
Yes.
that with
Okay.
us, and you were going to look
So,
at your cards.
yes. Yeah, so usually when I channel, I pray for a person I'm channeling for and I get a message. So the main message that I got today was basically to step into light and to not focus on anything that's negative or low vibration. And the more people that do that, the higher mind will become. It's kind of like the 100th monkey. You get 100 people doing one thing and then something will shift. So what we're trying to do is shift the vibration over our country, shift the vibration in our immediate surroundings. And the couple cards I pulled today, these are cards I've had for 30 years. First one was support. So that is support in positive, like-minded groups. And those are people that are looking for higher mind. The second one I got is to understand that divine timing happens at the moment when it is correct. So even if you want something to happen today, it does not necessarily mean it will happen. It'll happen when all the conditions are right for everyone that is in that situation. So it's the like kind of like the highest good for all people that are in that situation. Harmony would be the gift because when you are using higher mind, it creates a harmonious setting. There'll never be backbiting. There'll never be people bullying, calling names to other people. That is low vibration energy. High vibration energy supports each other for the highest good of all. And the last one is playfulness. And that card just reminds us to have time to enjoy yourself, to do things you love to do, because part of being in a high vibration state is enjoying laughter, is enjoying people you love, is getting out in nature, so the vibration can increase when you focus your intention on raising it for you and for people around you.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, no, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's trying to get back this speaker view. There we go.
Hmm.
Well, then again, this is
I'm seeing
live.
you. I don't know. I'm seeing you.
Okay, good. Well, I'm just that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, I'm trying to do my little thing here. I can cut this out. So there we are.
Okay.
There's that. Now I'm doing show grid view. Oh, why did they change this stuff?
I know. I don't like what they did with the Zoom.
No, I
It's
don't
kind of
either.
confusing.
It is confusing. I can't even, I'm going to say escape. Okay, there's escape. That's not what I wanted. View,
Oh, gee.
gallery. Okay, now we
Oh, see, now
got
I
it.
just lost you.
Oh, I'm going to full
Why does
screen.
my, yeah,
I should be back now.
okay.
Am I
Okay.
back?
Yes, you're back. Well, you didn't get lost.
Okay, there I am. All right, so here we are. Yeah, I think there were, so
Okay.
what were the things you were, the card, the second card, what was that? That was,
So it was support.
yeah.
There you go. Divine timing. That was the second one. So divine timing means the right time for something to happen cannot be forced by our will. It's when it's the right time for all of the people involved.
Yeah, I think
The
like
harmony
divine.
card. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
divine
the
timing.
divine timing, I think as a lot of people are going, when's things going to happen? When are things going to be more? When are things
Yes,
going to be changing? Everybody's getting impatient, or there's a
that's
general
right.
feeling of that. But
Yes.
there has to be like enjoy the journey,
Yeah,
and not
that's
force.
that's right. And a lot of times we want our will to force something before it's ready. So it's kind of like when you're baking bread and you want to take it out of the oven too soon, it's like a big slimy mess. You have to wait for the timing to be correct so it's fully baked. And a lot
Yes.
of right now, there's a lot of not baked energy around. So we're waiting for everything to kind of settle in and bake. So the gift of it is harmony. And harmony is a word that stands for, which is great musical thing here. Just when things are harmonious mix and they're not discordant. Right now we have discordant energy on Earth. Harmonizing is the music of the spheres, is the music of all nature, it's in our bodies, it's everywhere. So the harmony can result from vibrations that are in sync with each other. And that's what we want to do. So I always say surround yourself with energies that are in sync with you as well. So if you have a friend or people in your life that are very negative in their vibration, you want to limit your connections or your time and surround yourself with like-minded high vibration people. And that helps us to raise the vibration of low vibration people to a greater degree.
Yeah,
and lots of
definitely.
playfulness.
Yes.
So
Don't
have
don't take
time to play.
don't take it so seriously, right? That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
big thing. Don't, it's,
yeah.
enjoy, play, have
Enjoy,
joy, cultivate the
enjoy.
joy. And I think
Absolutely.
that doing these modalities like Reiki and
Yeah.
sound therapy and
Mm-hmm.
meditation, yoga,
Hmm.
anything, like that can really help us all
I agree.
to uh, to be more aware of how we are moving through our own life. Are
Yes.
we reacting to outside, influences, or
Hmm.
are we going inward and then responding to them?
Right.
There's
Right.
a feeling of being
Balance.
here, centered here,
Mm-hmm.
rather than always acting
Mm-hmm.
out here, because that
Yes.
creates chaos.
It
And
does. And you could never, like all those they people, you could never make all those they people happy. And a lot of people live their life with the they. They want, what do they think? What do they want? What are they thinking of me? And really, people are so wound up in themselves, they're just thinking of them. So you have to go into your center and feel the vibration of, does this decision feel right? Is this right for me? What is my next step? Instead of going over there and wondering what they're thinking of you, because you'll never satisfy those people because those people are always other people, right? So it's all about finding your center.
right, and self-love.
Excuse
Yes,
me.
going in
Hmm.
inward to yourself. Yeah, which is,
Yeah.
yeah, not an easy, as I said
Hmm.
before. I think that comes with a certain sense of life experience and wisdom
Hmm. Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have told me this stuff at 20,
Hmm. Yeah.
To an
Yeah.
extent, maybe, but yeah, yeah.
When we
Oh,
come to it, when we come to it, right?
yes, yes. Well, Rosemary, it has been an honor having you on today, and I so appreciate you and the work that you are doing in the
Oh,
world.
thank you so much. And I appreciate spending this time with you. And I love what you do. And I hope people partake in both what you do and what I do for our businesses. And we're out to bring light into the world.
And to help. And you do work
Yeah.
virtually, I believe you
I
said.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meet with people on Zoom for transformational talk sessions, long distance Reiki, workshops. And I have a lot of workshops. There's a free one called Dip Your Toe In, which is on my website, rosemaryd.com. I have some chapters of my book. And if you go to my website, you'll see all my books, excuse me, on my other website called Grow Your Spirit. And also, I have a podcast every Tuesday at 10 on Bold Brave TV. Excuse me.
It's okay. Just call. Yeah, no,
My
take, take,
goodness.
take your time. Just stop and let's do that again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Okay.
Just wait. This way, we're fine. No rush. I can edit any of
Okay,
this out.
cool.
I can make
Yeah.
it look real pretty. You
Oh,
won't
that's
even
good.
know.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
so I have a podcast called The Light Walker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary. It's on Bold Brave TV every Tuesday at 10 Eastern. If you can't find the link, you can go to my website, rosemaryd.com, and you'll see the directions for how to find it. But it'll stream, live on all the platforms, YouTube, etc. You can call in when it's live, you can text or ask a question, or you can view it later in my archive on Bold Brave TV or on my website. I do include our videos, and I know I did one with you, Ruth, which is there
yeah.
also. Yeah, so I have very fascinating guests, and I also instruct on there some weeks on my own.
Very good. And you also have
Yeah,
your books. So I'll be putting links to all this down in the description,
good. Thank
to
you.
Rosemary's website and
Good,
her
good.
books and everything. And what else can we say about Rosemary? I think you said you have a couple freebies on your website too
I
that people
do,
might
I do.
enjoy.
They can, so a couple things. The workshop in the self-study area called Dip Your Toe In is a free workshop. And that's, you can do that at your leisure. I have other ones there as well. I have one on crystals and be your own superhero. There's a whole bunch of different ones there. I also have live workshops in New Jersey at my home office. And some of these I also provide on Zoom live. So, if you join my mailing list or contact me, you can be on the list and you'll know what's coming up. So that's there too. You can see my gifts. I have two chapters you can download from one of my books. So if you go to Grateful Giveaways on my website, you can find the free stuff, including a video there. You can watch it
Awesome.
and enjoy it.
Wonderful. Yeah, Rosemary,
Yes.
Rosemary and I both are, what do we call ourselves? I can't
Movers and shakers.
movers and shakers and over, yeah,
Overachievers.
we're overachievers, workaholics. And then I see some other people who are like
Yeah.
10 times what I'm doing. And it's like, how do you do this? I can barely keep things
No.
the way.
Just what I'm doing is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I give myself time to have fun between, have a rest day because if you overdo
Mm.
what you're doing, you're going to burn yourself out. So one of the things that I've learned and that I'm deciding to do at my age is I have to do self-care. I book, a day here and there for nobody, except for me and my family. So, I work that in too.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
crucial.
important. Hmm.
Crucial for you, especially if you're doing
Yes.
energy work. Yeah, wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
Well, again, it was such a pleasure to talk to you and to hear all your amazing stories and just the to open us up.
Hmm.
Every time I
Thank
think we
you.
hear things like this, it opens up.
It does.
It breaks through a little bit of that disbelief.
Hmm.
And it opens us up to the amazing, amazing world that we truly live in and are part of, and I think our interdimensional
Yes.
nature as well.
Yes,
That
I believe.
that we really are that, and it's coming.
Mhm.
I think I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much
excited.
again.
Thank you so much, Ruth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for today.
You bet. Thank you. Much love.
Okay. Bye.